Dorothy Jean Dandridge was born on the 9th of November 1922 in Cleveland, Ohio, United States. She was an African-American actress, singer and dancer. Dorothy is the first ever African-American film star to be nominated for an American Award for Best Actress. She was nominated for a Golden Globe Award too. She also has a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame and has inspired many of today's actresses such as Halle Berry. Sadly, Dorothy passed away on the 8th of September 1965, aged 42. Dorothy was found close to naked and unresponsive in her apartment by her then manager, Earl Mills. The LA Pathology Institute determined that the cause of death was accidental overdose of an antidepressant, while the LA County Coroner Office concluded that she died of a fat embolism resulting from a right foot fracture sustained 5 days previously. There is conspiracy around Dorothy's passing, as she was documented saying to one of her dearest friends before her passing that whatever happens, I know you will understand, and then hanging up the phone. Today we are channeling Dorothy Dandridge. Dorothy's energy has actually been with me all day. I've been thinking about her and watching interviews of her because I'd like to do that in channeling so I really can embrace the person's energy. And she's been so elegant and high vibe, really, very positive and happy to speak. And there's an element with Dorothy where she feels like she's not channeled a lot. She doesn't get to come through to the earth plane a lot. And so she's quite happy to talk. She's very reserved and elegant and eloquent and patient, because I've repeated numerous times to her that I'm very nervous to do this. And she's said to me, "Don't be, darling, it's fine." You know, very old school Hollywood elegance she holds, and a complete beautiful soul, I feel. She brings me back to her life on the earth plane, which is a complete contrast to how she is in spirit. In spirit, she feels vibrant and energetic and free. And she's saying to me that as soon as I crossed over to the other side, I felt this way. It was as if I came home. There's an element with Dorothy of, yeah, I just keep hearing sad. I was so sad. I was so sad. And it's interesting when she shows me herself in the spirit world, she shows me herself in colour. But when she shows me her life on the earth plane, it's black and white. It's very grey. It's very dark. She's saying I felt lonely so much of the time. And so much of the time I felt alone. And I was often scared and frightened, and I'm holding back tears here. And she's bringing me back to when she was a child, and she was often made to feel very scared and frightened and alone. And she's talking about feeling invisible and how she was never heard. She's talking, bringing me a lot to her throat and saying, I wanted to say so much. Sorry. I wanted to say so much, and I had so much to say, and no one ever listened to me. And even in my career, I felt often in the shadows. She is basically saying I was the black girl, you know, and in the time when she was a film star, as amazing and incredible as she broke down barriers. She was one of the first African-American actresses to be nominated for the Academy Award. You know, she broke down doors. She was one of the first. That takes a lot of guts. It takes a lot of vulnerability. And she's saying a lot of the time I was scared and I was frightened, and she makes me feel, and I know this to be true, that, you know, she didn't really encourage this. This isn't something she initiated, this career. This is something that was forced upon her. Her mother really wanted this for her and her sisters. They wanted her to be famous. Because she's bringing the woman that her mother was with. They wanted it, and she's saying it was so strict and it was so stern, and my childhood was so dark. It brings her to tears, even on the other side, to look back at her life on the earth plane. because she's saying it was so far from who I authentically was. Authentically, I was such a loving and bubbly and kind and generous person, but she's saying it was like whipped out of her, it was beaten out of her, it was, you know, I couldn't show that side of myself a lot because no one allowed me the safety to truly be me. I was very vulnerable. The film industry in Hollywood has a very dark side, and I spent a lot of the time she's showing me drinking, smoking. Oh, I smoked a lot, yeah. There was so much toxicity. She's talking about eating and the strict diets, and she was told what to eat and how much she could eat, and the abuse. Like, she's making me feel like there was men in the industry who would call her fat and ugly and, you know, would be very strict and stern, and she was just so mistreated. My life on the other side is so peaceful, and when I look back onto the earth plane again, I just see it's just black and white. It's so dark. Nobody loved me for me. Nobody allowed me to be me. She's bringing this in all day. I told you her energy has been with me all day. And I have just had, you know, I love singing. If you've been on this channel for a long time, you know I love singing. Sorry, I feel really emotional about this. All day I've just wanted to sing. And I feel that's all she wanted to do. I actually feel Dorothy Dandridge wanted to be a singer. I don't feel like she wanted to act. Especially when she got into the industry, it was so dark, like the film industry. She's like, I appreciated what I was there and what I got to do, but her heart was in singing, and all day I've just had visions of her in my third eye just dancing around and singing, and she loved to sing. She loved to sing, and had she have lived, I feel like she would have gone on to truly channel her art into music, because that was really a main passion of hers. She loved to sing. Singing, she's saying, was so freeing to my soul, and I'm getting emotional because I feel the same way about singing. Singing is so freeing, and I've just felt so encouraged to sing. I was sitting here earlier and saying I want to sing, I don't know why or what to, but I just want to sing, and any given moment today I've just sung, and I know that's her energy coming through, and she does make me feel like she loved singing. She wants to talk about her passing, and acknowledging that there is mystery and suspicion and conspiracy around it. But she is saying, I'd had enough. I was tired, and by this point, I had nothing left in me to give. Sorry. She felt so alone in life. Truly. She's making me feel like even the friends I had, because I feel like friends was all she had, she felt burdened. You know, even her best of friends, she's like, I didn't want to be a burden on them. I'd been made to feel a burden, especially as a child. She takes me so much back to her childhood, and she's even saying, I feel, you know, I look at that little girl from the spiritual realm, and I feel so much sadness. I didn't get to be a child, wasn't allowed to run free and to express myself. I was in very much a routine. I had to do what I was told, and I was very much a free spirit. And on the other side, I'm telling you, she is such a free spirit. That's what she's saying. When she crossed over, she was instantly free. There was so much constraints on her life on earth, and she was very much a free spirit. I feel like she would have been, had she been allowed the space and time, she would have been very spiritual, very hippie, because she makes me feel like she was very at heart wild and free. She wanted to be able to do what she wanted, when she wanted, to make the music she wanted and the film she wanted, but she's saying societal pressures, the way the world was, and men. Dorothy Dandridge, she wants to make it clear she doesn't resent men now on the other side, but on earth she hated men, like honestly, because she wanted them to love her so much, and it stems from her marriages and her father. You know, she's saying my relationship with men was bruised from a young age. And also men in the industry, you know, the way they would talk to women, the way they would treat women. She's saying I am a proud feminist, and she's very proud of the movements that have been made in film and in the industry. But she's saying it's still such a dark place, and she wouldn't encourage anyone to get into it. She's saying it could be even darker now, and the things that happened to her and to other Hollywood starlets, they still happen now. The drugging, the dietitians, the brainwashing, the, well, if you want to be famous you need to do this. She's making me feel that that's very still very present. And men, she's saying they're still pulling the strings, you know, very much puppetesque. It's very much still the way it is, but she is saying I'm very proud of the way women can now speak. It's being able to speak. She's, you know, at the beginning of the reading she talked about the throat chakra and being able to speak. She's saying women couldn't speak up like that. That was not something that would have been favoured at all. Your career would have very much been over. She was silenced. I feel like a lot happened. Okay. Okay. She's talking about the Me Too movement specifically. Is really hard. Sorry. Yeah. She was violated a lot, touched inappropriately, spoken to inappropriately, treated inappropriately by men. She's saying I'm okay now, you know, she's very feminine, very in her feminine. But she's saying that when she was on earth, and especially in that industry, being in your feminine at that time was not a safe space to be in. There was a lot of advantage taken, especially when it comes to money. She's talking about betrayal when it comes to money. There was 2 men, I feel, that managed her money, and we know that when Dorothy passed she was bankrupt. So much abuse. Abuse of power, abuse of sexual abuse, verbal abuse, mental abuse, so much abuse. She's just saying, I was so tired. This is a woman who was very assured in herself. She's saying, I knew who I was, and I knew I was a beautiful soul, and I knew I was so beautiful and precious, but... And this is why I don't think I've cried yet. You know, if you've been around here and you've seen my readings, you know when it's like this, I will cry. But she very much held everything in. That's how she was. She was very strong. She was like, you know, I suppressed so much. There's so much suppression here. It's like... But inside... On the outside I would smile and I would wave, and on the inside I was dying, quite literally. And I would never let people see how they hurt me, including my mother, including husbands. You know, I was too proud. It was never safe for me to do that. But I was crushed so much. And if she is taking me to her bathroom and she's bringing up the word crushed, and I see the crushing of the pills, and I do feel, yeah, I feel she took her own life. And she's just saying, I'd had enough. I'd had enough. She doesn't want me to cry. Okay. Because she's saying, I'm happy that my legacy has been able to live on. Because oftentimes on earth it felt like it never would. It felt like I hadn't done enough. I always felt like I was competing when I was always giving my best. And I'd given as much of myself as I could give. And so sadly, she's saying, sadly, the conspiracy and mystery that people may want to attach to me and my passing is just that I had a sad, sad life, and it ended equally as sadly. But she's talking about women and empowerment and feminine, and she's so happy to see women standing up for themselves and speaking and being able to speak, and this freedom. And you know, she's saying my legacy lives on, and if there's anything people can learn from my passing, it's to do what makes you happy and to speak your truth. Don't allow people to suppress your pain. Don't allow society to restrict you. Be free, because I am free now. She's saying my legacy lives on. My legacy lives on. She's very happy about it. So yeah, a lot of thanks coming through, and even to be able to be channeled. She's very happy because it was all about being heard and expression and voice. So what an incredible soul. What an incredible, incredible soul. And she's free, which is beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much for being with me today, lovelies. I do hope you enjoyed today's reading. Please do leave some love for Dorothy Dandridge down in the comments below. What an amazing, incredible, iconic, beautiful woman. And I will see you soon for another video. Bye.